Hello, I'm Luke. So I sort of realized I sort of live like an old man. Like, I'm walking with a damn cane. I live on disability. I walk with a cane. Not to be stylish. I mean, I guess it's stylish, but it also just helps me walk. Like, it helps me because I think I've struggled to walk for some reason. So I sort of like live like an old man. I like I mean, I would like to call this an apartment because it's more independent. It's technically a part of a house, but I would like to call it an apartment since nobody really does anything for me. And I just, I don't know. It's technically a part of a house, but I'd like to call it an apartment since that's more independent thinking. I mean, this is all I can afford. I applied for housing in order to get affordable housing. Um, so that's like sort of like Section 8. It's sort of like Section 8. It's essentially Section 8 that I applied for because I don't want to live in a house for the rest of my damn. I want to live in my like a real like I mean I still consider this to be an apartment, but like just to be like in an apartment. You know what I mean? Here, I'm drinking black coffee. That makes me old, right? The reason I drink black coffee is because it makes me the I don't know. I think I'm lactose intolerant, so like milk makes me sick. So what should I title this video? I'd probably title this video I sort of live like an old man, but also I thought about something I want to talk about is that I got my last tattoo. So I quit tattoos. I have tattoos on my face, one tattoo on my stomach. So basically I got two tattoos in the same day, and those are my last tattoos. I quit tattoos because it just sort of like came to me like I don't want to do this anymore, man. I've been getting tattoos like once in a while for many years. Like once in a while, I've been getting tattoos for many years, just once in a while, and I just don't want to do it anymore. It was like really hard for me. Like I'm like I can't do this anymore. Like I can't do it, especially not since that night that I had talked about on another video. I had like a since that night that I had talked about, I sort of realized like I'm using the words on the street to describe this. You're sort of on the street like any place that you go. Um, I mean, it's technically just outer space. Like this is outer space, but you're like on the street any place that you go. So I don't know. But I got my last tattoo and it was hard for me. I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I got the one on my stomach and I got one on my arm. And I have tattoos on both of my arms, one tattoo on my stomach, one tattoo on my left leg, and tattoos on my face. And those are all my tattoos. And of course, you can't see the other tattoos because I have clothes on. But I mean, I have tattoos on my hands too. But those are all my tattoos. I didn't count how many I've got. I don't know. I didn't count it, but I have several. I mean, I have a lot. I have like a lot all over my body. Like the thing is, most of the tattoos I got weren't like big tattoos. They were like small tattoos. Like like this one. this is not part of that tattoo. This GBC, that's like a very small tattoo. But then also like this is my arm. This is my right arm, and so I have tattoos on my left arm, my right arm, my left leg, my stomach, and my face. And I've got a lot of tattoos. And I think I quit tattoos, man. It was really hard for me, but I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Quitting tattoos was sort of like quitting crack cocaine, because like like regarding the crack cocaine, I was like, I can't do this anymore, especially not knowing that or knowing, I mean, like that one hit of crack can kill you. That's why I quit crack, because I don't want to die. And it's also like it's really a hustle to have to. It's sort of a hustle to get it. I don't know. I just like wasn't. I'm just not up. I just don't want to. I don't want to die. That's why I quit crack, because I don't want to die. Um, just like knowing that one hit of crack could kill you. I don't know. I mean, it's less likely to kill you. You'll probably not die. You probably won't die, but it's still possible. I just don't want to risk it. And that was very hard for me. It was really hard to quit crack. And the thing is, like, I state that I'm addicted to crack, but I haven't done a lot of crack. Like I'd probably done crack 3 times. Um, it's also so expensive. It's so expensive. Um, so I don't know. I'm just done with that. So like, what is it exactly that I do? What exactly do I do? Well, I want to point out I have lots of possessions. I've made some videos about, like, I made a tour of my room and I showed off some of my possessions. I let you know what I got. Like a lot of books. I have a lot of books. But the thing is, I want to look at those books, but I don't I just don't do it. I don't know why. I mostly just listen to music. Um the books take like lots of thought. I don't know. And then maybe that's why I don't do it, cuz I struggle to focus on it. It's like I love those books. That's why I got them. You know, I have lots of books, but it's just like I don't know. I just don't want to. Then I also have a musical instrument, and I have a CD collection. I have a small CD collection. Well, it's like I sort of have. It's a little CD collection. I made a video about that also. Um, but no, like one of my hobbies is just simple things. Like something simple. It's like I like to write in my notebook. I just not exactly journaling, just writing in a notebook. Just I enjoy doing that, and it's not something I do very often, but it's like one of those things. It's like a good little hobby. Then you see, I have this machine, and I'm rolling my own cigarettes because it's a lot cheaper. And this is the bag of tobacco. I also probably I don't know. I just maybe like I thought like maybe I need another year sober before I felt like I could manage my life a bit better. Just like one more year sober. I thought like one more year sober I could manage my life a bit better. Um, because it's still hard for me. Also realizing that I sort of struggle to walk, and that's why I'm walking with a cane. Um,
People have told me that I look handsome and with this haircut, and I've also got like some facial hair. Especially, I got a pretty good mustache. I mean, I'm still technically young, but I just like I sort of live like an old man. The way that I live. I mean, what do I do? I spend a lot of time just like doing nothing. Just kind of like, the work of life, if that's what you want to call it. Like just kind of like you see I have a little I have that chair back there, and I just like to sit in the chair, not even doing anything. Not I mean, sometimes I like to listen to my CDs, and I'll sit in the chair and I'll listen to a CD, and it's mostly I only have jazz music for CDs, so I go on the internet since this place has internet to get like other music because I like to listen to like lots of different kinds of music. But all my CDs are jazz, and sometimes I'll sit in that chair, sometimes I'll listen to a CD, sometimes I won't, and I'll just like enjoy sitting there, just kind of like. And what makes it less difficult to just kind of do nothing is that in between doing nothing, I'll have a cigarette. So like I'll have a cigarette, then I'll do nothing, then I'll have a cigarette, then I'll do nothing, then I'll have a cigarette, then I'll do nothing. I'm not one of those people who likes to like I've done this a lot, but I don't really like to do this anymore. I don't like to just like watch videos and like watch TV, and I don't like it. I don't know. Sometimes I like to watch a movie cuz like I have like movies are like different cuz it's like a movie is just like an art piece. So I enjoy that. But just like watching TV, I don't know. I don't really do it anymore. I've kind of seen it all. Like what else is there to see, man? I've seen it all with fucking TV, man. My favorite show is The X Files. The X Files. That's my favorite TV show, and I love that show. And it's nostalgic to look at it, but I also like simultaneously like the quiet. I like the quiet. I like it like when there's just like it's just quiet. Like I like to listen to music because you don't really have to stare at a screen. You just listen to it, and it sounds beautiful and it moves you. It helps you. It helps me think. It helps me think about interesting things. Like if I'm listening to like different types of music, I it brings back certain memories or makes me think about different things. And I spend for like the past year, I spent a lot of time. Not it's not the only thing I've done, but in the past year, I've spent a lot of time rotting in bed whilst listening to music. So I wasn't just like rotting in bed, but I also spent time rotting in bed, but I was also listening to music at the same time. But in high school, I was more proactive. Like in high school, I had goals, and I missed when I missed I missed that because I used to think like my goals is more important than real life. Like like I used to like play video games, so I had to say Osu is more important to me than real life, and that's how I thought. No, I don't know. I mean, but then you sort of have to deal with real life also, because like you got to what's a real life thing? You have to have a place to live, so you gotta think about things like that, like how to pay your rent, and then cigarettes are also like a real life thing. It's not like a video game, but the books like that's why I said I always called the things that people would call hobbies, like I would call them goals. So like a book, my goal was to read lots of chess books, but I never really did. I bought lots of chess books, but I did not read them. I still have those books, but I would say like my goal is to go through all those books, but I wasn't able to since I was abusing drugs. Then I got sober, but that was very hard for me. Um, but that was like a goal. That wasn't just a hobby. It wasn't just a hobby. It was like a goal. Like let's say like and then I over there I'm staring at this book on the floor because it's like a computer textbook, and I love textbooks. I think textbooks are awesome, and one of my goals is to go through that textbook at least once. But am I going to do it? Hopefully, at some point, if I don't lose all my possessions in a fire. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Since who wants that? Uh, so I'm just talking about things that I think about. Like, that's like a goal to go through the book. It's not just like a hobby. I don't know. I had the musical instrument is an ocarina, by the way. I've made a couple videos with the ocarina. Um, so those are maybe you could call all these things like they say like when you're kind of mature, you start to think about like the little things, and I think what people mean when they say the little things is like okay things, but also mindfulness, like being mindful. So like when you get older, you start to think more. Maybe you're not conscious of it when you're younger, because I didn't really think about it when I was younger, but just like mindfulness, like being mindful and being mature, and I guess that's what people mean when they say the little things, or like to look at a book is one of the little things, I guess, but it's also like I think books are like hardcore because most people don't do it. Most people don't do books. Books are like hard. I don't know. It's like some movies are very beautiful, but some movies are like, just kind of like you turn your brain off and it's just like you stare at it and it's not very interesting. But like books, they're like, I mean, okay, there's bad books too, but like if you know what a good book is, that's like hard. That's like hardcore. So I'm just staring at this book on the floor. That's why I'm not looking at the camera. Or also once you become an adult, you really like to be alone. You really spend a lot of time alone. Like once you become older, you spend a lot of time alone. Or think about it, how much time you spend alone. Hopefully throughout your entire life, if you really get that time to be alone. I feel like people. I mean, I have no problem with working, and there's nothing wrong with it, but you don't get to spend as much time with yourself if you're working. And I think if you were working, you would still be lonely. Like you would have a job, but you would still be lonely, and you would have to interact with people. Some of those people you might not like. You would still be lonely, in my opinion, if you were working. I don't know. I would still be lonely, but I'm still like lonely. I was kind of scared of the word isolation because isolation, it's so intense. If you just call it loneliness, it's not as bad. Cause like the other night, I had like an experience. I mean, I was just like alone in my room, lying in my bed. But after being like alone in this room for like such a long time, such a long period of time, I was like, the isolation was like an emotion. It was like an emotion of isolation. It was so intense. I was like, holy fuck! It's like I've been in solitary confinement for like at least 1 year, and I was just like, fuck, because it was just so lone. It's so lonely or isolating. I don't know, but it's not the end of the world to be alone. It's not. The loneliness is not so bad.
I think my problem is that I don't trust anyone, so I choose to be alone. Since I trust nobody, I just choose to be alone. I mean, I have a question. Is that, I don't know. The thing is, even the people who I love, I can't trust anyone. Not even the people who I love. I can't trust a soul. That's how I think. Like, that's just the way that I think. I've always thought like that. I didn't realize I was thinking like that, but I've always thought like that. I don't know. Because I just remember when I was like about 7 or 8, I gone to this woman's house, and it was, I was like 7 or 8, but this woman was an adult. And I didn't really think about it. But I just remembered, like, I know that I thought to myself, not with these words, because these are curse words, but I thought, I do not trust this bitch. It was just some woman. I was like, I do not trust this bitch. And I was like 7 or 8, and I thought that. I thought that I'd made the mistake of trusting people, but looking back, I don't think I ever trusted anyone. You know, I thought like when I was younger, I made the mistake of putting my trust in others, but looking back, I never did. I've never done that once. And in fact, there's lots of things I've never done once. There's some emotions I never feel. Like, for example, something I've never done is like, question, have I ever, like, I don't know, I thought I never felt jealous of someone. I don't think I never felt jealous. I never felt jealous of someone before. Not once. I don't think no, I've never felt jealous before. Sometimes I might have thought, like, am I jealous right now? But I've never felt jealous before. But something else that I've never done, like, so I never felt jealous, but I never compared myself to others. I've never done that, not once. I've never compared myself to someone else. So like, what I'll do is like I'll spot a difference between two people, or I'll spot a difference between myself, perhaps, or someone else. But I don't really compare myself to them. I just spot differences between us. Like this person, I don't know. This person is taller than me, or this person is a woman. I'm a man. So that's like I spotted a difference, but I'm not really comparing myself to anyone else. I'm pretty certain I've never done that before. Not never, not once. Also, the isolation, it sort of like, I mean, I was always a man. I just didn't realize it for some time, but the isolation, it sort of like makes you stronger. It makes you like wiser, and it helps you, gives you a lot of time to think. It's almost like I live in like I'm living in a cell block or something. But it's not. This is the outside, so I can still go outside. I'm on the outside. Like, yes, it's hard to be on the outside since it's so damn lonely. Not to be in a cell block. This is not a cell block, but it's almost like a cell block, but it's not. It's like if it was, it's a very luxurious cell block. But it's like I can still go outside. I can still go have a cigarette. I can go any place I want. I could even get off of the disability if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. And I don't know. What was I just talking about? I forgot what my point was. Oh, also, I think I have an anxiety disorder because I have like anxiety attacks. I was questioning if the coffee, because I drink a lot of coffee, is that contributing to my anxiety? I'm not certain. It might be. But I have like anxiety attacks. I have like anxiety. And also, I don't, also,
I okay. I don't think it's wrong to be disabled. It doesn't make you a piece of shit if you're disabled, in my opinion. I'm just, I had to accept that I think I'm disabled. The thing is that, I might be able to work. I just think I'm like disabled. I mean, also it's not to say that it's not hard to do this. Like, okay, if you're working, you'd still be lonely, but it's hard to do this also just to be alone all the time. It's very hard. It's very hard on your like mind because it is sort of like a cell block, like a prison cell block, because like you just spend so much time alone that it does something. It kind of does something to your mind. Regarding the night that I was talking about, the night I call it last night. So whenever I think of that moment, I call it last night. The last night that I smoked crack, I call it last night. Um, since last night, I've just never been the same. I sort of realized like it's like this all the time. You know, I'm out here all the time. It's like yes, I'm inside a building, but you're still like on the street if you're inside a building, in my opinion. So I don't know. This video is long.